welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of Gotham Knights. It was called Scene of the Crime, and as it begins, Harvey Dent and the GCPD infiltrate the Batcave and seize everything. Next, Duella appears to be getting ready for a night on the town from inside some type of department store after hours, but we then realize that the rest of our band of misfits are also there helping themselves to wardrobe and makeup as part of their effort to clear their names, which they're apparently going to try to do incognito, so they needed new wardrobe. It would seem that Duella has an inner bad boy kink that she aims to exercise on Turner, who she suspects has an inner bad boy. Upon the arrival of GCPD on the scene of this mall or whatever, they head out the back and encounter Robin, who, despite being part of the team, didn't know what they were up to. Anyway, they're still trying to get a bead on the Court of Owls, and when Steph explains to a mutual acquaintance of hers and Turner's that she hacked the banks to try to find out who put the money in his account, he says that he's concerned that she could become an accessory. At the GCPD headquarters, Harvey's asked by another detective, or whatever, if he's been able to get in contact with a certain other cop, the one who is heading the team to catch the fugitives, aka our heroes. And when he says that he hasn't, she decides to call the cop, and they hear his phone ringing. So they search his desk for it, but it turns out that his phone is in a box with a piece of the man's anatomy. At which point they call the rest of the people on his squad to check on them, and a whole bunch of boxes in the GCPD squad room start ringing, which was very macabre. Anyway, I'm going to make a random observation here. The person who plays Cullen Rowe can't act, just for the record, and Duella is my favorite character on the show. She gives me Alice vibes from Batwoman, and I love it. Okay, back to the breakdown. Our erstwhile team of misfits realizes that they need to work together to steal some Wayne security vehicles so that they can use one to access the garage at Wayne Tower so that they can get to Bruce's private elevator so they can go straight to his office, bypassing security, to look for clues as to who might have framed them from Bruce's private journals, clues about the Court of Owls. So then we see that the cops figure out that it may have been Steph who hacked the bank computers because she was Turner's first phone call when he was arrested. Back at Wayne Tower, we see that the code to Bruce's secret elevator is 1939, which is very cool because, of course, that's when Batman first debuted in the world. Anyway, while Turner and Robin go up to the office, Duella tries to convince the Rowe twins to join her on a get out of Gotham spree in the security vehicle that apparently won't be checked by the PD at the exit points. But Cullen doesn't want to go. In Bruce's office, Turner and Robin find Bruce's journal from when he was a kid. And it turns out that even then he was writing about how the Court of Owls was behind the murder of his parents. Steph gets taken in by Dent, and she gives him absolutely nothing under questioning, which was glorious, but it seems that her idiot friend may be willing to rat her out, as we see him there as well talking to another cop. But back to Bruce's journal, apparently as a kid, he suspected that the Court of Owls had been hunting his family for decades, but never could track them down, and eventually decided that they weren't real, and at least for a while, stopped looking for them, and only re-began looking for them at the time of his death. Before Turner and Robin can get out of Wayne Tower with the journal, the Talon shows up, katana in hand, so they make haste to get the hell out of there, but then all kinds of alarms start going off. The Rowe twins exit the security vehicle at Duella's suggestion that they all go help Turner and Robin, but Duella doesn't get out of the car. She takes off, abandoning them. So the Rowe twins get in the private elevator and head up to help Turner and Robin. Of course, there isn't much they can do, so they end up all having to go out the same window that Bruce did when he died and fell to his death, on a bat line that Robin was carrying, 48 stories. And once again, it was glorious. They were just sliding down this line. It was the coolest thing. Anyway, Duella takes the Court of Owls watch from the pilot episode to a fence. And it turns out that he knows what it is because he'd been in contact with someone from or aligned with the court who not only wants the watch back, but whoever was in possession of it, which of course means it isn't long before the Talon shows up and runs the fence through from behind with his sword before giving chase to Duella, who bolts it out of there. But when she gets to her car, she doesn't manage to escape before the Talon jams a sword right through the engine block or part of the engine, for trying to break the window with it, which he wasn't able to do, I guess, because there's tech in the window that isn't in the middle of the car or whatever. But this point is further demonstrated when he then jams it through the gas tank right through the side of the car and then slides it along the ground to make a spark and ignite the fuel that was spilling out, which was very cool. As Druella struggles to get out of the car to escape the fire, the Talon is hit with a batarang before Turner goes at him with the sword, and Robin joins the fight, brandishing throwing knives. The fight intensifies when the Talon draws a second sword, but Robin knocks him down with an explosive crossbow bolt, giving them a chance to run away. When they all get away, Duella is thankful towards Turner for him bringing the rest of the crew back for her, and she asks him if going for the diary was worth it, and he says yes, and then asks her if she's ever stopped to think that maybe she is too, which I thought was a great line. And she then talks about how it's cool to know that Bruce Wayne's kid can wield more than a dessert fork or whatever. At which point he explains that Bruce had him get training in the same kinds of disciplines that Bruce was trained in. We then see that Steph's friend told the cops that he hacked the bank computers because he couldn't watch her screw up her life for Turner. And it becomes pretty obvious that he digs her a little bit. It also turns out that Cressida is up to her neck in the court, even though she's also basically the modern day Alfred and was Bruce's right hand at the manor. It also becomes apparent that the guy who was chewing out Harvey and the other police officer earlier about their lack of progress in catching our fugitives is way connected to the court. Anyway, back at the clock tower, Steph and Turner wonder aloud how the Talon got in and out of Wayne Tower without having to do any of the stealthy shit that they had to do. And he then says that's not the only question because somebody ripped a bunch of pages out of the last journal that Bruce was writing in. Before the episode ends, we see that Robin sneaks back into her apartment where she lives, I guess, with her family. She is, after all, a school student. And we see that it was her who took the pages out and that the last thing Bruce wrote was a question to himself about what would happen when Turner found out he was Batman. And that's where the episode ends. So this is the first episode of the show that I'm reviewing. I couldn't really do a review of the first episode because I was in the hospital recovering from gastric bypass surgery when it aired and when I normally would have done my review. So this is the first time I'm talking about this show since the last trailer came out. And at the time, I saw the trailer and I was extremely dubious that this show could be worth a damn. Because from the trailer, it just looked cheesy. It didn't look like it could possibly be good. Who are these people? I've never heard of them. Some of them are from the comics, but they're not, well known to the average Batman fan as opposed to the hardcore Batman fans. And I just couldn't see it being very good. They seemed very generic. And the plot stuff that kind of came out in the trailers didn't seem to me like it was compelling. But I want to say that I was hands down totally off base. And I'm a little mad at myself because I should have had a little faith knowing that this was being done by the people who did Batwoman season 3 and maybe season 2. The former of which I absolutely loved. I just should have had more faith. Shouldn't have lost faith. I have to bow and scrape before them now because I'm not worthy. But just as they made Batwoman season 2 good and Batwoman season 3 great, they have put out a great show. I don't care that I don't know who Turner Hayes is and that they made him up. I like the character. It works. I think part of the reason it works is because he's one of Bruce's proteges, and son, who didn't know about the Bat thing. And that makes him unique and puts him in a unique position to lead this show. I am loving the Druella character. I'm loving what they're doing with it. It's giving me Alice vibes, like I said, and I love the Alice character in the latter seasons of Batwoman. And she is gelling with Turner in a way that I think is great. She's a foil for the rest, for the Rowe twins, and for Turner, but she likes him. I think they're doing good stuff there. The actress playing that part is excellent. They really put thought into this, it seems to me, when crafting this group of people to write about. And I think the exploration of the Court of Owls, which to my recollection hasn't been done in live action before, is excellent grounds for a TV show. So, which I guess I knew even when the trailers came out, but I just didn't seem to me like they were going to do it justice. But I think they are. I think it's unfolding spectacularly. The guy that's playing Harvey Dent is doing an excellent job. Even Steph, who's like not, a Wayne or a Joker's kid or a superhero or whatever, is a good character. And I see like a love triangle thing, developing, because they're two different sides of a coin, she and Druella. And I think they both care for Turner. So that's going to be good to see. And I think the mystery is fucking great. And the suggestion that the Court of Owls has been after Bruce's family for decades is awesome. I don't know if that's been explored elsewise, but it's awesome. I don't know why they just made bad trailers for this show, because the show is good. There's a Talon going around cutting people's heads off. I mean, come on. How can you not like that? I think the show is off to a great start. I loved the first episode. I enjoyed this episode. Like I said, the one kid can't act, but I'll get over it. I'm looking forward to the rest of this season unfolding. I'm looking forward to more Druella. I'm looking forward to more Talon and Court of Owls and intrigue. I think they're off to a great start, and I can't wait to watch the next episode. So that's really it. For now, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back with a review of episode 3 once it's released. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.